Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to my English lesson. This interactive lesson that contains a lot of great information you needed in your daily English speaking. In order to speak and communicate with people, you need to learn some tenses and you learn how English should be spoken. So today we have a really simple thing we're going to talk about, which is the simple present tense. It's a tense that means happens in a period of time or in a part of the time throughout your life, which is the present time. So let's get right into it and see what does that mean. So I'm sharing my screen right now, and what we're going to learn, inshallah, as I mentioned earlier on, the simple present tense. So let's have a look on this tense and see the content of this tense that we're going to cover today, inshallah. The first thing, the form of this tense. Second thing, the use of this tense. Third thing, how to make questions using this tense. Fourth things, the negative statement of this tense. Okay, so let's jump right into it. The form, how does it, how do we form it out? Or you can say how a person can form this tense. First, you should use a singular subject. And we know in English, singular subject, that means we need a human name or a person's name, or in the other side, you can say a pronoun. So it's a subject or you have a pronoun. In a pronoun. So a singular subject like Muhammad, Mona, Ali, or whatever, the cat, the dog, or you can use a pronoun instead. So singular subject or a pronoun, he, she, it. We add to this verb that followed by this subject or pronoun s, es, or ies with a singular subject. For example, he eats an ice cream. He eats an ice cream. He eats an ice cream. This is in the present tense. That's why the pronoun he, I used the verb plus s after this. He eats an ice cream. Another example, she washes the dishes. She washes the dishes. She washes the dishes. The bird flies in the sky. The bird flies in the sky. So he eats an ice cream. She washes the dishes. The bird flies in the sky. That's so easy, isn't it? I know this. So singular subject or pronoun plus the verb plus s, es, or ies. All right. On the other hand, if the subject is plural, we have a plural subject here, like they, we, or you. We add just the verb without anything right after it. So just the verb in its infinitive. It's in the infinitive verb. So what we have here, they catch the fish. So in his basic form, the verb should be put here. They catch the fish. You buy a t-shirt. You buy a t-shirt. You buy a t-shirt. We write a story. We write a story. The students study English. So we know here some pronouns, some examples are with pronouns and some others without pronouns. The students, this is the plural subject. You can replace it with they. You can replace it with they. They study English. The students study English as well. So with the plural subject, what we do, just we add the verb in its basic form. All right, so let's see how we use this tense. How we use this tense. This tense, we express it or we using it when we talk about things that happens in our daily custom or in our daily routine. Something happens again and again. Something happens again and again. For example, I'm talking about myself. I wake up at 7 o'clock. I wake up at 7 o'clock. The simple present tense is used to describe habits and changing situations, general truths, and fixed arrangement. For example, she usually works on her office. She usually works on her office. He usually drinks tea after a meal. That means this this person or this man drinks the tea not at the moment, but usually he does this after he has his meal. He runs to school every day. That means he's not running right now, but he runs every day to school. He ran yesterday and he will run tomorrow. So this is unchanging habits. Or you can say the general truth, the water boils at 100 degrees or whatever. Okay, so in a nutshell, or let's recap this real quick, how we use this tense to express your daily habits and it changes situations. Something happens again and again. That's pretty much it. He runs to school every day. She usually works in her office. That means she goes to her office every day. How to make questions? We said to make questions with this tense, we can use the same version. Singular subject or a pronoun, we add before it does. Remember, we add to the single one to the verb s, but here questions we use does. And this, we need a yes or no question. Does, name or pronoun, plus the verb in its basic form without any addition. For example, does she work from her office? Does she work from her office? We need a yes or no question. Yes, she does. No, she does not. Does he work on weekends? Does he works on weekend? Does Muhammad work on weekends? So this is a yes or no question. We need yes, he does. No, he does not. The same thing we do with the plural subject. We use like the students, me and Muhammad, for example, you, and we use do in questions. So start the sentence or the question with do plus the subject or a pronoun, then the verb in its basic form. For example, do they work on weekends? Do they work on weekends? Let's have the negative statements. The negative statements, that what we do is to use the word does not or doesn't with the singular subject, and on the other hand, with the plural subject, we use don't. For example, he doesn't wake up at 7 o'clock. He does not wake up at 7 o'clock. Another example, he doesn't eat too much. He doesn't eat too much. Another example, you don't work here. You don't work here. They don't play tennis. They don't play tennis. So this is the negative statement. Let's have the keywords real quick. We can use always. I always drink tea in the morning. That means I do this all the time. She usually, that means 80%. She usually walks to school. Never, that means that never happens before. So, or would never happen. They never eat meat every day. He reads a book every day. He never reads a book every day as well. So we can use this words or keywords in order to express your thoughts or to express this tense. That's a very simple tense, and you're gonna learn it and get used to it in your daily speaking. Then inshallah, what we're going to do in the next class by doing a shadowing and doing as well some exercise regarding to this. So inshallah, I'll be with you inshallah to explain all the English tenses and also daily situation. We're gonna practice it together and have it in a fun way inshallah. Thank you too much for watching. I will see you next time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.